Namaste! Welcome to the Yoga Pantry with me, Natasha. We are going to look at a little, it's a peace and resilience flow. So to bring calm into your body and to add some strength and to fortify you. But also, it's going to be creative. So you're going to have your own freedom to move. We're going to look at it in two stages. So we're just going to look at the basic poses that are going to be involved in this flow, and then we're going to start to play and explore and see what's possible for you and your body. Modify as you wish and make it your own. So let's roll out those yoga mats and let's get started. The first pose we're going to look at, super easy, Vadrasana. Now, if you cannot sit in this position, you can always do everything from up here. Easy peasy, no hassle at all. So, Vajrasana, nice and easy. We're going to have our hands in prayer pose, interlace the fingers, sweep them up for a nice open heart, and open out the arms, reaching up and over, so we get a lovely stretch. If you're up high, just bring your hand to your hip. And then reach over to the other side. Again, you can bring your hand to your hip or to the floor. And extend, you can breathe up, or you can look down, rise up. The whole time, we're holding the core in, the belly in just slightly to give us strength. And then down into your child's pose. Surrender. Surrender down here. Have a little wobble. Have a little rest, a little stretch through the back. You can always wiggle wobble from side to side and just allow the body to soften. Then we're going to rise up into our tabletop position. It's always nice to have a little rock around here. You can have toes tucked or flat just to warm up the body. And in our tabletop position, we want the shoulders stacked over the wrists, the knees underneath the hips, and you're nice and solid and strong. And then we're going to round the back as we breathe out, bringing the chin in towards your chest. Again, you can play here just to warm the body, all the joints, wake up the back muscles. As you breathe in next, pull the chest through. You can pull those hands back towards the knees for a little more connection and strength here. And you can do a few of these just to warm up the body. From our tabletop position, we're going to press into a downward facing dog. You could have your hands step forward a little bit more so you can come into a comfy down dog. Reach up through your sitting bones and tread it out. First down dog, so we like to just work those legs, play with our body, see how we feel. Breathing deeply. And you can stay in your downward facing dog. If down dog's too intense, you can bring yourself down to your hands and knees and shoot your right leg out and play with it here in your little tabletop position, or take that leg up into your dog split. And in our dog split, we want to make sure, first and foremost, that we are strong, pushing the weight back through the arms and having that strength through the back leg. If the knee needs to be bent, that's okay too. Just go with your body. You've got choices here. You can open the hip, you can close the hip, but we're going to look at more exploration in a moment. Once we've gone through the dog split, right foot steps through, and we find ourselves in a high lunge. So you can either choose a high lunge or a warrior one. In our high lunge, all of the toes will be pointing forward. We pull the energy back through the hip crease, zip it up through the center of the body. So the core draws in, there's length through the tailbone. You can reach into the back leg and maintain the length there, or you can turn that back foot out a little bit and come into a warrior one. The energy is the same. We're pulling back through the hip crease, drawing in through the belly. The big toe points up to the top corner of the mat, more or less. And then you've got freedom to do what you like with your arms. When the legs are solid, your upper body can do what it wants. We want to make sure we're not gripping the toes. So we spread the weight across the ball of the foot and into the heel, and almost like we pull the energy up from the arch and up and back into our hips, and then zip it up through the center of the body. So warrior one or high lunge. From here you can play around, and we'll look at that in a moment. But then we're going to open into our warrior two. Now we'll show you all of this on the other side as well. So in our warrior two, if I try and open my hips to the side here, my knee's going to collapse in. So for me and my anatomy, my hips need to point off on like a 45-degree angle-ish, thereabouts. And that helps my knee stay facing forward. I can help a little bit more by harnessing the energy of my inner thigh muscle as I rotate my rib cage back. If I rotate the rib cage and forget about the knee, my hips are probably going to move, and then the knee's going to collapse. So I need to be very, very firm in my inner thigh, and then I can open out my rib cage to come into a nice warrior. If I turn my palms down, you'll notice my shoulders drop. If I turn my palms up, my shoulders drop down, and I've got comfortable strength here. Then I can turn my palms down, I can look over the shoulder. Once you're grounded through the feet and you know how to strengthen and harness them and protect that knee, then you can do stuff with the upper body, which we will look at in a moment. So from our warrior two, we're going to reverse it. The back hand can either slide down the leg or it can tuck behind you. Just do what feels good and find this length. Either you can reach up or you can reach back. Breathing into these poses. And then we come back into our warrior two and down into our downward facing dog. You can always choose a tabletop instead. And we're just going through the poses before we really start to crack in and play with the flow and get more of a dancey kind of feeling into it. Now once we're back in our down dog, we can stay here for stillness, and we can lift that left leg up into our dog split. So now we know what we're doing. We've done it all on the other side. We can step that foot through, high lunge, or warrior one. Set those feet up for success first. If you're wobbly when you come up, just walk that foot out a little bit more. Draw the energy in through the core, zip it up through the body, and you can reach into your warrior. From here you can play around, arrowhead, whatever you want. Turn that back foot out when you're ready and let the arms open. Warrior two. So when we're in warrior, remember, very open here, inner thighs working a lot, the hips point in whichever direction. That will protect your knee and keep that knee facing forward without it collapsing in or out. That will depend on your hip anatomy. You've got the rotation through the waist to look like you're facing the side of the mat. Into our reverse. From there, we cartwheel back down, and then we step back into our down dog. We can find stillness in this down dog before we're ready to make our way to the top of the mat. You can jump, hop, step. And here, folding forward, letting the tailbone lift, letting the crown lengthen. Breathe deeply from here. Now you can press through the feet, draw up through the core of the body, connect to your glutes, and your spine, excuse me, will start to rise. As you rise up, you can bring the hands in front of your heart space. But we're going to shift our weight to the right leg and come into a tree pose. So for tree pose, you can easily bring the foot just to the ankle. You want to gaze somewhere in front of you to give you that focal point. The toes could just hang out on the ground. There's nothing wrong with that. Or you can lift it to the calf. What you don't want to do is push your knee. So either the foot stays on ankle, calf, or it can come up higher. You might need to grab it, and then we're going to push the heel into the thigh into the heel. Let the hips balance out so they're not weirdly angled. And when you've got your focal point, your drishti, which is just a dot in front of us, that gives you a good sense of balance. We're going to connect through the ball of the big toe, cross the little toe down into the center of the heel. There's that pyramid of strength there. And then draw the energy up. Belly is in, there's length through the core of the body, and we can find our flow. So when you are super grounded through the legs, you can do what you like through the upper body. Then we release, shift the weight over, repeat on the other side. Once we've had a play around here, we release and fold. We do a little half lift, and it could be you can run your hands up the shins as much as you need to, and then we do a bigger half lift. And allow this lovely fluid movement through the spine. So we pick up through the belly, we lengthen, we drop. We pick up through the belly, we lengthen, we drop. And we step back into a downward facing dog. Once in our down dog, we can roll through, and you can just come to your knees and do cat-cow, or we can roll through into an upward facing dog. So here you can do it with your toes tucked, bring your chest through, or you can have your feet flat, bring your chest through. Energize those legs to the sky, open through the body, strength through those arms. Then you can take the knees down, pull the belly up, push yourself back into your child's pose, and then roll through the belly, up through the spine, back to the start. That's the flow. Now's the fun part. We're going to explore and play with freedom in our upper body while we anchor through our lower body. So here we go. I'm just going to move back to the back of my mat, because you may notice we use the whole length of our mat. Take a moment, wriggle into your body, bring your hands into prayer in front of your heart. Look for that length through your spine, connect in through your seat, reach up through the crown, interlace the fingers. Maybe you want to set an intention for your practice here. When you're ready, interlace the fingers, flow those arms up. Stretch out, feel that yumminess, open your arms and reach over to the side, lengthening out, feeling that stretch from the sitting bones. And you can play with the hands, you can play with your head. When you're ready, inhaling and cartwheel those arms the other way. And again, if you look down or you look up, things change. And you can rotate the hands, wriggle the fingers. Remember, our joints articulate from all of the places. Breathe up and exhale, come down. Child's pose. Have a little wriggle. I want you to think about fluidity, movement versus stillness in this practice today. Then we're going to draw the belly in and roll to our tabletop position. Round the back, chin into your chest. Inhale, breathe the heart open, pull the hands to your knees, and with those toes tucked, push back into your downward facing dog. Breathe into your down dog. You can have a nice fluid down dog here if you like, or you can just stay lengthened. So we're exploring our down dog. Breathing, bending, straightening. When you're ready, you can lift your right leg. Remember, you can modify this by taking your knees down and playing, doing the exact same thing just in your tabletop. Now, with your leg up here, what are your options? Pressing the floor away, you can bend the knee, right? We can roll out the ankle, but we can also roll through the hip. We could move into a little core plank. We could lift the leg out to the side. We could take it through. We could take it out. There's so many things you can do to play around. So allow yourself freedom. It's going to build strength and focus, and you're going to find what your body needs. Once you've had a little exploration there, step that foot through. Finding your high lunge or your warrior one. Adjusting the feet, rising up with strength, confidence, and balance, pulling the energy in. So when the legs are nice and focused here, strong and rooted to the floor, now we can play with our upper body. The whole time being aware of what you're doing with your core. Stretching, opening, straightening, reaching, wrists, elbows, shoulders. What can you do? Be mindful with your movements, be deliberate, and look for fun, adventure, exploration, dance, grace. Breathe. You can have a hand on the ground, both sides, and then we're going to open the back foot. So you want to have the distinction between warrior one, warrior two. Back foot opens out. Remember your hips, your knee, your foot. Plant all of that in, and we can play here with our warrior as well. What can you do from this position? What can you do? What feels good for your body? You can straighten. You can triangle pose. You can roll through the shoulders. Just find freedom, find openness, and then we're going to find that stillness in our warrior two. Palms up, shoulders resting, openness through the hips, through the spine, through the body, receptive, waiting and open. We're not chasing, we are grounded, we're planted here. And then let's shower all of that goodness over us and come into our lovely reverse warrior. You can look down, you can look up. And then from here, it's your choice how you release back to the ground into your downward facing dog. Breathe. Deep breaths. 3 deep breaths in stillness. Just feeling your chest and your back rise and fall with that breath. Head can be held between the arms or you can let it drop. Just find what feels good for you. After your 3rd breath, take your left leg up and again we play. We play, we explore, we find our strength, we find our flexibility, we find our creativity. You can slide things around. You can open things up. There's no wrong. If it feels good, then it's good. If it doesn't feel good, then maybe it's not the one for you. But you get to work strength in your legs, your core, your arms here, and flexibility at the same time. Then when you're satisfied, step that foot through. High lunge or warrior one. Arms playing again. Breathe. Find your grace. Find your flow. Reach. Pretend you're on stage in a contemporary dance performance. Put your favorite music on and flow with it. Once you're satisfied with your exploration of warrior one, we find warrior two, opening the back leg, working the strength and the openness in the inner thighs. We could play with a triangle pose as well. Breathe into it. Let the arms be your balance beams. Remember, fingers can move, wrists can move. Really just make this your own. When you're satisfied, then we can open into our warrior two. Palms up, receptive, open through the rib cage, lengthen through the body. Check that you're not dropping into your low back. Pull it in, lift it up, open through the thighs. Inner thigh, hips where they need to be. Back foot reaching into the back edge of the mat. Make sure your back foot's not pointing back, either to the side or slightly up. Breathe. Stillness. Determination. You can put your goals in front of you and draw them in. And then you can gather them up and pour them all over your body. Shower in that goodness and then just release however you want to come back into your downward facing dog. Breathe deeply, breathe up through your sitting bones. Already you should be feeling quite warm and stretched and strengthened. And now we're going to make our way to the top of the mat. Hang, dangle. You can take the hands behind you if you want. You can have the knees bent. You can be a bit higher. Let everything soften. Let's slowly ragdoll up, press through the feet, roll up. Hands and body can move how you want as you rise up. And then weight into the right leg and coming into your tree pose. Whether the leg stays low or whether the leg goes high, anchor yourself, ground yourself, focus yourself. Once you're there, if you want to, you can sway your branches. Play, open, explore, or just find stillness. If you need to, you can have a chair beside you or a wall beside you for one arm, and the other arm can just go for gold. Anchor through the foot, try not to grip your toes, breathe. You can play with the leg as well as you find your balance here. So you can start to release from the tree and play. And then release, tree to the other side. And you could slide that leg up and down once you feel focused, or you can anchor it to its spot and find your flow. Find your balance. Find that drishti. It could just be fingers that you work with. Consciously connect to your body. Don't do something because you feel you have to and then you feel dumb, but do it because it comes from within you. Do it because it feels good, it's satisfying, maybe it's fun, maybe it's funny, maybe it gives you the giggles. Do it because you want to. And then you can release, play with the leg, find your balance. And then rise and fold, hips to the sky. Half lift and fold. Half lift higher and fold. Step back into your downward facing dog. Stillness. Breath. The breath will pulse through your body. So even though there's a little stillness, if you still want to move, that's cool. But if you find stillness, notice the breath pulses the body. The chest, the back expands. And then you can roll through. Upward facing dog. Breathe into your up dog, however that is for you. And then knees down. Pull, push, sink. Child's pose. Wriggle into your child's pose, surrender. Breathe. Draw the belly in, roll and rise. Vajrasana. So we're going to go through that a couple of times. I'm just going to give a few basic cues. If you're not familiar with all of that yet, just go through the first section again where we just look a little bit at our alignment, then go through the second section where we play. Do that a few times until you're ready to just start to flow with me. So if you're ready, let's come to the back of the mat. Hands together in front of our heart space, bringing together the masculine and the feminine, the yin and the yang. Interlace the fingers, inhale, open out, exhale to the side, play with the hands if you want, and over to the other side. Inhale, rise, let your arms do what they want, let them be free. Exhale, child's pose. Roll into a rounded cat, open into your heart, expansive cat, downward facing dog. And then right foot lifts and plays. Find what feels good. You can always just have stillness. That's all good too. Step it through. High lunge or warrior 1. Arms free, body free. Open. Warrior two. Continue that exploration. Maybe you straighten the leg, maybe you bend, maybe the body moves, but keep that inner thigh working for you. Warrior two into stillness, palms up, lengthen. Check mentally through your body, finding your warrior. And then reverse, reverse, reverse. And then cartwheel through, releasing down however you like. Downward facing dog. Left leg lifts, plays. Breathe, use your Ujjayi breath. Be gentle, be kind. Steps through. High lunge or warrior one, arms flow. Warrior two, when you're ready, check the openness through the body. Flow, play, fly. Find what feels good. Warrior two, stillness. Pick it up, pour it over you, and then release. Downward facing dog. Reach up through your sitting bones, and then make your way to the top of your mat and rise. Step weight into the right leg. Find your dristi, find your tree. Stillness or flow. And then step to the other side. Find your tree there. Stillness or flow. Fingers, wrists, elbows, shoulders, chest, back. Undulate, move, dance. Feel good. Release, rise and fall. Half lift and bow. Half lift and bow. Down dog. Into your up dog. Into your child's pose. Roll up, Vadrasana, straight into it. Interlace the fingers, reach up. Open, exhale out to the side, inhale. Exhale to the other side, inhale. Child's pose. Roll from child's pose, rounded cat. Breathe, chest open. And round, downward facing dog. Let's do left leg first. Play. Explore. Be kind though, be cautious. Make sure your shoulders can deal with this. Step that left foot through. Warrior one or high lunge. Breathe. Turn out, warrior two. Play, explore, find things that you've never found before. Warrior two, stillness. Zip your awareness through your body. And then over the top, reverse, release, downward facing dog. Right leg lifts, right leg plays, free. And then step it through when you're ready. High lunge or warrior one. Breathe into it. Find what feels amazing, right, good in the moment. Warrior two, open that out. Breathe into it. Maybe you triangle it out. Maybe you just play with your poses. Maybe you do some familiar things. Maybe you do some unfamiliar things. Warrior two. Stillness. Palms up. Receptive. Open. Shower that over the top. And then release into your downward facing dog. You can tabletop it, you can child's pose it. Make your way to the top of the mat and rise straight away. Find your focus, find your tree. Take your time, there's no rush, avoid your knee. You could decide you want stillness. Maybe you want very slow movement. Maybe you've got a song, and part of that song is fast, so you follow that, and another part goes slow, so you follow that. Let the music inform your action. Flow with your breath, flow with the music, have fun, swap, tree on the other side, find what feels right in the moment. And release. Rise and sink. Half lift and bow. Half lift higher. Bow. Downward facing dog. Roll through that down dog, up dog. Knees down, pull back. Child's pose. Breathe the body up. Hands to your heart space. Now as you get a hang of that, you can repeat it as much as you like, go through it, play with it, add to it, subtract from it, find songs with different tempos and different beats that just make you feel good and enjoy it. It's such a lovely flow to bring peace and calm, yet strength and determination into the body, because we have those still moments, we have our introverted moments where we're in child's pose or a forward fold or a downward facing dog, and then we've got those powerful warrior moments. But we've also got underneath or above the strength and the stillness of the body, the legs holding you there, we've got flow, fluidity. So we kind of channel through all of our chakras, and we allow the universe to flow through us. It's a lovely practice. Get used to it, go slow, and then once you've got it, you can turn me off, blast your music, and play. Take your time, stretch it out, fast, slow, play fingers, wrists, elbows, shoulders, chest, back. What can you move? How can you move? Doesn't matter if you feel gammy and like all unco and stiff to start off with. The more you get into it and the more you play with it, the more comfortable you'll become and the more fluid it will be for you. But let's just come down onto our backs and stretch out the booty a little bit. Little thread the needle. Burp. Breathe into that. So right leg over left. Pull your left knee up towards you. If these are unfamiliar, you can check out my pigeon pose how-to, which goes through thread the needle and the variations as well. And you can choose any of those things if you want pigeon instead. Go for it. It's all about stretching the glutes, so it doesn't matter what pose you choose. Choose the one that feels great. And then let's release. Do the other side. Breathing into it. Finding room, spaciousness, openness. Let the body soften. You can always have the foot flexed to protect your knee. And then releasing that right leg and take your left leg across, finding a twist that feels good for you. Maybe your body goes grrr. You can stack your knees, just find a twist that feels good. Release, and we'll twist to the other side. So finding again a twist that feels good for your body. My mic pack's in the way, so I'm just going to do a little lame twist. Breathe, 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 and release. Release, wriggle around. If there's anything else you want to do, go for it. But if you're ready for Shavasana, go for that. You can take your legs out the wall. You can come into a child's pose. you can surrender completely and just lie out here, bask in your delicious pranic energy that's flowing through you. Prana is that vital life force. Relax your jaw, your eyes, your lips, your teeth, your tongue, your shoulders, your back, and soften. Deep breath in, let it out. Relax. Now you can continue to chill here, but if you're done and you're ready to get on with the rest of your day, wriggle a little, stretch a little, curl up, roll up, take your time until you're ready to come back to a nice comfortable seat. Thank you so much for joining me in that practice. I hope you loved it. I hope you feel really yummy after it. Remember, go at your own pace, trust yourself. Let yourself unfold slowly. If you start out being a bit stiff, that's okay. You can robot through it, and eventually you'll turn into like an Indonesian dancer and be a little bit more fluid. I will see you again very soon.